You have to be able to eat here. Oh, well. The food won't affect the RFID. Don't eat with silverware. What? Eat with silverware. Nobody wants your food hands on the cards.
Fair enough. Fair enough. They want yours though.
Huh?
They want your hands.
My food hands? With like greasy stuff? No way.
Would you eat?
I had salmon.
Yeah, it's good here.
It was good.
I heard it's like the best meal they have.
I'm just glad we don't have to wear microphones. That's like my pet peeve. I hate that.
You can't even hear us. If you watch the stream, you don't hear.
Great.
Okay, welcome to Playground Montreal. Back here for the Day 4 streaming. I'm Simon Trumper. Sitting next to me is John Scally-Kalmar. Hello, mate.
Evening all. So it's down to the last two tables now where it's starting to get a little bit serious.
Yeah, there are 15 players remaining and we will be playing down to the final 8 this evening. 4 levels to go.
But everybody's locked up around about 40k. Isn't too shabby.
If you was watching yesterday, you'll know that Savard was one of the players that we were following on the last feature table, and I think Montgomery was one of the tables, was on one as well. Montgomery's still in.
Shamas was
Shamas was there. He's now up to 82 million. Montgomery's down to 25 million. Blinds are 1 million, 2 million. So Montgomery with 12.5 bigs. And Savard is one of the chip leaders, 189 million chips. There's only 1.2 billion, only 1.2 billion chips in play. So he's got over 10%, 15% of the chips in play.
I'm going to be slightly biased here and start rooting for McFarlane. Mainly because he was on my table the first day, sat next to him, watched him nurse a short stack for most of the day, and played very well.
Going to struggle to improve on that flop. Shamus with trip kings.
Must be nice.
Ian Cullen, what's Ferraldo got?
140 million, I believe he told me last time I spoke to him. He was soldiering on.
He's in very good shape. Okay, so just going around this table while we're watching this hand. Seat 1 we have Jean-Pascal Savard. Seat 2 Carl de Veglia. Apologies if I get any of these pronunciations wrong. 3 is Rayan Shamas. 4 Scott Montgomery. 5 Kenneth McFarlane. 6 Ari Engel. 7 Minj Zhang. I'm going to guess.
Ming Zhang.
Ming Zhang. Let's go with Ming Zhang. And 8 Matt Waxman.
Ryan 514. No, it's not the final table yet, but we're playing down to the final table. Players have been falling thick and fast today, probably quicker than most people expected. So it will be the final table soon, but that will be getting streamed from tomorrow.
Yeah, we were expecting to come back to at least 3 tables, around about 26, 27 players today, but the players have fallen, as John said, thick and fast. We had 38 at the start of the day. We are down to 15. We've lost 23 players in the first 4 levels.
I do expect things to slow up a bit, especially when you get to that final table bubble. Things do change a little bit. People start to get a little bit more active as well.
McFarlane's put a bet of 4 million on the turn.
No, either our picture's frozen or they're just very, very still.
I think it has actually frozen.
I know they do like to dwell from time to time, but yeah. I think
So that's the end of that hand, and we're on to the next hand.
So pocket queens now for Waxman. Sat currently just short of 80 million. Just to let people know, the blinds are currently 1 and 2 million, 200,000 ante. Which with the buy-ins is effectively 5,000, 10,000 cash equivalent. And does have Waxman covered, but sat with 86 million, contemplating his King Jack. in the big blind. He might peel one. It's quite a hefty raise, that, actually, 5.8. It's the difference to the pattern we were watching earlier, weren't we, where people effectively just min-raising everything. So I could fold there. He was tempted to get involved, but thought better of it. It's an awkward one, King Jack, and it's difficult to win big pots with it. It's certainly easy to lose big pots with, but it's not necessarily.
Do we know what the chip values are here, John?
The chip values are, the green ones are 100,000, the orange and white are 500,000, and then the yellowy greens are actually 1,000,000 chips each. So we can see there Savard with his 8 stacks of those, 160 million roughly just with those alone. Provided they've got 20 a pile, basically a pile of oranges worth 10 million a stack. And the yellow ones around about 20 million a stack. Of course, there is $1,000,000 Canadian for first place, as we all know. A not too shabby 650,000 for second, 450,000 for third, 335,000 for fourth, 238 fifth, 166, 110 seventh, 80 for eighth, and 60 for ninth. And then you're talking around about 40 to 50,000 if you bust between now and the final.
Nice spot for McFarlane. Waxman has raised again, this time under the gun. 4.8 million with 8-9 of diamonds.
Can't blame him with that.
I think he said raise to 12 million with his pocket jacks.
I'm not sure how cheeky McFarlane's been today. Certainly my experience of playing him on the first day, he certainly wasn't. So I suspect he'll get a lot of respect for this re-race. Xiang sat with a medium pair. Down to 40 million, so he's got less than, around about 20 big blinds at the moment, so he might be feeling a move here, but there is a raise and a 3-bet in front of him. Easy fold.
Yeah, well, we saw Savard win a big pot yesterday, didn't we? Right at the end of the evening with sixes against fives,
yeah,
on a 5-6-9 board. So Axman, 6.7 million to call.
Now, we were talking yesterday about people dwelling. I know John Duffy has had a bit of a debate on Facebook about it. Spots like this, you're raising, you're facing a re-raise. He's probably going to fold. We don't know for sure. He's probably going to fold. In these spots, that's fine. You know, it's not what we're talking about. It's the situation where you're clearly not interested in playing a hand. You look, you see you've got 9-3. Just throw it away and get on with it. Obviously, when you've got genuine decisions, then fine, yeah, you can take your time and have a think about what you're going to do. Obviously, if you're trying to steal with 9-3 and someone 3-bets you, maybe a short pause before you fall to the 3-bet isn't too bad either. It's specifically the situations where you're not going to play the hand. It makes no difference. You're not giving anything away just by letting the game run on. Just crack on with things. And
also we saw situations yesterday where someone raised and at least 2 players in front thought for 15-20 seconds and the third guy still wanted to think when the action was folded round to him. He's had an extra 45 seconds to decide what his action is going to be.
Well, we are going to see appeal. He has got position as well. He's on the... oh, no, he doesn't actually. He's actually under the gun there. I thought that was the dealer button. McFarlane's on the button. Tanya's just asked the chip counts. The yellow chips that he's just putting out there, they're 1,000,000 chips each, worth $1 million apiece. The orange chips are worth 500,000, and the green ones, which would appear to be the smallest in play at the moment, are 100,000 each. A mere 100,000 each. Pick up a flop. Never fun seeing over card here, but it is only the queen, so... what happened there?
Finally went all in.
Wow, didn't mess about there, did he? Well, I suppose he only had, well, that puts him up there pretty tastily. Up to 70 million now.
Who would have thought we'd ever have a tournament where the starting stack was $1 million in chips?
1 million in chips. 1 million. Well, it's not strictly true, is it? His starting stack is 100,000. Because obviously you can get through with phase ones. You know, if you want to get into these events just for a measly 550, you can. If you're a bit flash and want to flick in the 5,000, you can do that too.
Yeah. 764 players chose that option, I think.
Savard having a think now. We were pretty impressed with him yesterday, weren't we, Simon?
Very.
And he's not let us down. I think he's overall chip leader in the tournament, close to 200 million. Close to, what, a sixth of the chips in play, I would say.
Looks like we're losing Waxman there. The outside table must have lost a player, so they're balancing. So we're down to 14 players now. Ferraldo, fishing for greatness, he is on the other table. The plan is to play 2 levels using this table and then switch to the other table. Raised to 4 million from Shamas, all in from Montgomery.
Down to just 24 million.
Can't see Shamas
Standard
calling
here with the
this.
ace queen.
Decision for Angle.
This should be an easy fold after a raise and a re-raise.
$84 million chips.
If you're for sure that Shamus was going to fall behind, you might be interested. Shamus lets it go quickly. Didn't even stop and ask for a chip count. Yes, Tanya, the final 8 are coming back tomorrow, so we're just going to play down to the 8 players. So we might be able to get out of here at a reasonable time tonight, Simon.
Yes, that'd be nice, because we do have an early start tomorrow. Stream will be starting at 12:30 Canadian time, 5:30 UK time, if you want to join us and see who wins $1 million. Montgomery up to 16 bigs there.
Winking for him.
Yeah, Angle should raise here, shouldn't he?
Certainly will do, I would suspect. Must be about 5.5 mil, I think. 4.5, so back to the min raising. Or just over the min raise. Zhang contemplating a move.
Yeah, he's gone all in here.
Svard will step aside. As well, De Villiers. Is it De Villiers?
De Villiers. Carl De Villiers.
No, it's 40 million. It's half his stack to call here, so not an instant call. I suspect he'll probably fold this, but we don't know how active Zhang been.
Does he want to gamble?
Well, he may feel that if he's up against a small pair, he's obviously getting a great price. He's only getting dominated of a couple of hands. Well, say a couple, a few more than a couple, but I don't really see him calling here. Although he's certainly tempted. I think if it was 25 to call. He might have already done it by now, but 34 out of 80 millions, pretty much half in your stack. I think he's folding. He's acting quite pained. I mean, obviously he'd be loving it if he does call, but I think he's.
He really wants to call here, doesn't he? Hoping he's no worse than 50-50.
Maybe thinking of a flip. I mean, we were talking about the money jumps. I mean, the money is all on the final table. Not a huge jump between now and 9th. You know, we're going from 40,000 to 9th. So you might be feeling like, well, if I gamble and get some chips here, I can do some proper damage and make a charge. I don't think he's going to call it. Do you tend to find the longer the people take, the less likely they are to call?
Generally speaking, but he really looks like he does want to call.
At this point, you can guarantee that Zanger doesn't want the call. If, not sure he ever did want a call, but if less so now. Oh, is this it? Ooh.
Obviously, he wouldn't be expecting Zhang to turn over like King 10, King Jack, but he's going to look like a genius if he calls. Unless, of course, Zhang hits a Jack.
Well, 700, you jam into the cut-off raise. I don't think it's certainly not a frivolous play, shall we say. So how often are you going to be good in, well, how often do you want to really take this punt at these spots and hope that you're in the flip?
Maybe he's convinced himself that Zhang's a bit weaker because he shoved rather than standard 3-bet. He did have enough chips not to have to move all in.
I guess so. He did have 20 bigs, but no. Was it a call?
Was he called?
Wow. Well, it would appear he's made the call.
He has made the call, and I think that's what was going through his head, that the size of the 3-bet makes it more likely that his hand could be something weaker.
Well, you say that. He only had 20 bigs, so I mean, if he makes it 6 or 7, he's pretty much committing himself anyway, so I'm not sure it was such a... Well, and a few more chops available now. Pairs of 7, pairs of 2.
But no.
No.
Engel is going to knock out Zhang.
Well, luckily, the shot straight through with that board there to give us lots of time to tell people what you could hit. So, a massive pot there for Engel, really. That should escalate him right into the 20s, right all the way up to 127 million. Nice call. Some may feel a bit risky, but rewarded.
Yeah.
And he did have a dominating hand.
Can't win tournaments unless you're willing to take these spots.
McFarlane's giving him a bit of a look now, as if to say, "Are you mad?" King Queen.
Oh, Raspberry, I think I've seen a lot worse than that.
For sure.
Is there like some is that supposed to be like standard spot, something like that?
I haven't played it. It's a standard annoying spot.
Yeah.
Let's put it this way.
1 million, 2 million with a 200,000 ante. 6 players on this table, 7
Yeah.
on the outside table. So we're down to 13 players. We only need to lose 5 more for this evening.
Bad news for the table, Fishing for Greatness has said. I assume that he knows Mr. Engel. Ari Engel. Or Ari, as we pronounce it in the UK. All right, Ari. That's foul raising the button. Shamas will defend with the ace-6, double suited. Immediate reward with the ace. Now we have seen Savard just keep firing in these spots, haven't we, and getting people off these top pairs. I don't think he did it to Shamas yesterday, but he certainly did to Hu, didn't he? It was, so we'll see how many bullets he's got in him today.
A very small bet there.
Awkward spots to play here as well. Do you raise now just to try and find out where you are? Do you just flat call and allow him to keep barreling off? He has chose to flat call. Picks up a straight draw as well to go along with his ace.
Savard with a flush draw now.
Will he bet again?
Check, check. No change on the river. $15.6 million.
Yeah, I think Savard's just given up on this hand now, which I wouldn't blame him. Shamas might put a little bit out for value, but can't really get called. He'd probably better check in and hoping to induce a little stab off Savard. So he is going to bet it. Not sure he's hoping to get called off, but pretty sure Jack 7 won't be on. See, one of the other tricky things about these little value bets as well is if Savard does decide to raise here and just make some sort of move, it's very difficult to call. So, but anyway, another pot to Savard.
Okay, we'll just have a quick recap. So we started back on this stream with 15 players. We lost 1 player. We've had another player move to an outside table. So we are 6 on the feature table, 7 on the outside table. Just 13 players remaining. We're playing down to 8 players today. And I'm now joined in the commentary box by a young man who won a WPT here last year, Mike Sexton.
Simon, good to be here. Great to be at Playground. Fantastic tournament. You know, it's not many tournaments that you play and get knocked out of that you're still raving about how great it was, but this was one of those. Obviously, I didn't get the money in this tournament, but it was put on so well by Party Poker and the staff here at the Playground Poker Club. Really heard nothing but positive vibes from all the players about it.
So we had a big pot about 5 minutes ago. Ari Engel raised cut-off with King Queen, I think 4.5 million, and his opponent Ming Zhang shoved for 38 million. And after considerable time, he decided to make the call, and it was the right call. His opponent had King Jack.
Wow.
And he won a big pot, takes him up to 127 million, one of the chip leaders.
Might be why Ari Engel's rated the top player in the world right now.
Making
Certainly
decisions
if he wins
like
this
that.
tournament, he will be anyway. I think he's in second officially in the rankings, but he's a phenomenal poker player, no question about it. Terrific results, and really a nice guy.
All these players playing excellent poker. We saw Shamas, Montgomery and Savard, the three in this pot. We saw them involved in a lot of pots yesterday on the feature table, making some very, very good moves, solid plays, good laydowns.
Certainly a lot of good players left.
Montgomery's decided to squeeze here, all in.
I don't see it working. But let's see what happens.
Looking at the chip sizes, Savard is most likely to fold and Shamas is most likely to call. Shamas could well have just flat called intentionally, hoping for him to squeeze. Be quite a good play, wouldn't it? Savard open. Look at this, quick calls. You see,
Yep,
I think he actually played the hand that way, hoping that Montgomery would shove with his short stack.
Yeah, he thought the guy might squeeze in that spot. He did.
Okay, so Shamas, ace queen against Montgomery's jack 10. Montgomery all in for 32. Here comes the flop. 7-5-9, pretty well gut shot for Montgomery, obviously. 8-10 or jack, improves his outs. Backdoor hearts for Shamas. No help on the turn.
Well, Montgomery needs a jack 10 or an 8. Nothing else will do for him. Otherwise, his dream of winning the millie is over.
And unfortunately, it is. We're going to lose Scott Montgomery in 13th place. We're down to 12.
But Simon, I like the way you picked off that Shamas actually probably played that way for the squeeze in that situation. And if he does squeeze, he still has the guy in front of him, the original raiser.
Yeah.
See what he does before he has to opt to play the ace-queen or not.
Absolutely. He clearly intended to play that way because he insta-called.
So now we're going to get a player from the other table to move over here. And there's some really good players at that other table. A couple WPT champions over there. Neil Farrell, who incidentally won our Party Poker WPT event in Punta Cana last year. Matt Waxman is there as well, WPT champion. So
some
really
fantastic
good players left in this tournament. Those are the guys I'm most familiar with, of course, because they won WPT events. But one thing you'll notice at these last couple tables, Simon, not a lot of old guys sitting there.
No, that's true. No, we're sat in the commentary box. But it doesn't seem to stop you winning. You had another good run, didn't you, in a tournament after the WPT, if I remember?
I did, actually. I finished 4th in the LA Poker Classic, which is a big tournament. And
it's amazing.
Yeah.
Savard likely to raise here. Raised in the last hand with ace-3 of diamonds, this time ace-3 of hearts. Tanya, there is a 30-minute delay today. Started back today with 38 players, and by the time we got to the stream, there was only 15 left. We was expecting them to be at least 3 full tables left.
Simon, they must have 6 players left at that other table. Otherwise, they would move a player over here to balance the tables, wouldn't they?
No, they'll be bringing someone now. They were in. I was actually outside when this happened, and they were in a hand on the other table.
So you deal and you don't balance the tables first, then. Interesting.
I think the dealer had already riffled, but otherwise they would normally stop and wait for one more player. Although, to be honest, on this stream table, they're probably happier because you tend to play slightly less hands, don't you?
Correct.
So 5-handed, they'll be playing the same hands. McFarlane, bit of a loose call in the big blind there with 9 deuce. Savard with his top pair, Shamas with a gut shot. Buck, the Scot, what's up top for this? Just a cool 1 million Canadian dollars. It's interesting, Savard to check this time. Trying to get some money in the pot from Shamas on the button. Action back on Savard. He has an even 170 million chips. Chip leader on this table.
Now, how do you play top pair with a weak kicker? You check raise or you just call? He just calls.
Right, to pick up a flush draw on the turn. Go with his top pair.
Board declares queens. You don't like that if you have aces in this spot because you're fearful your opponent might have bet a queen when everyone checked to him. Where he now has you beat.
$23.6 million in the middle. Shamas will take a free
Shamus
card.
Taking the free card off, I don't blame him. He's fearful his opponent made 3 queens on the turn. And look at this. The 10 comes off. He makes the ace high straight. Oh, queen comes off.
It is a 10. We saw the 10 on the table. The graphics are showing a queen.
Yeah, I saw a 10 come off, didn't I? So the graphics are wrong here. At least we think they're wrong. Because we saw a 10 turn off.
Savard's going to check. So Shamas, how much is he going to bet now with his nut straight?
I think he's going to get paid off here in the river. Again, we believe the graphics are wrong here. The board shows 8, ace, queen, queen, 10. Which gives Shamus a straight and the best hand.
I think Savard can get away from this because his opponent will be just as worried that he could have hit the queen. So if he's not now worried, if he's now betting out when the 10s come, he's either got an ace with a better kicker or he's got a made hand.
Would he have checked 3 queens on the turn? I don't think so. You're not going to give your opponent a free shot to make a straight on you.
No, exactly.
Or to catch an ace, so
the 10 must make a difference to his hand.
if you're good enough to put him on king jack, you can get away from it, but I think he's going to get paid off.
Didn't re-raise on the button pre, so there's a few hands you can discount. Discount ace jack, ace queen, ace king. Ace 10 would be counterfeited. At the moment you have to agree at best it's a split pot, potentially, yeah? If he's calling with his ace 3, he's calling to split. Likely, in his mind.
Yeah, that's if you think he would bet a weak ace in that spot. He might just check it down as well. That's what he had, so.
I think that's what he's thinking. Is he betting to protect a split? Did he slow play the turn? Or has he got the worst hand that I could possibly want him to turn over, which is at this point, which is king jack, apart from any full house?
He didn't get raised pre-flop. His opponent checked on the turn. Tough to get away from aces up here.
And Savard reluctantly makes the call
It
to
does
get
pay
the
him
bad
off.
news. shrug there. It's like, how sick is that? He got there in the river.
Yeah. That's why sometimes you're better off to check raise the flop to find out where you are right away, instead of having to guess at the river. Chances are you win the pot instead of lose it.
Well, even after losing that one, Savard is still chip leader on this table with 165 million. Shamus now up to 128. Engel not far behind, 127. McFarlane with 66 and De Viglia with 36, which is 18 bigs. Playing with blinds of 1 million, 2 million, 200,000 ante. Well, they haven't brought another player, have they? Has someone else been brought to the table that hasn't been put on? If not, they must be down to 6 on the outer table.
Have to be, or they balance the table.
Yeah, definitely.
Savard folds the ace-3 of hearts here.
Looks like there's another player there. Bingo buddy, are the graphics on? No. Jean-Pascal Savard had 2 pair. Aces and queens with a 10. And his opponent had a straight. There were not 3 queens on the table. It was queen, queen, 10. Yep, Niall is still in as far as I know. So we have been joined by another player in C8, which I understand is Nicolas Lefloc. Is that correct? I think that's how you say his name. And there you see it in C8. I think it's Nicolas Lefloc from Paris. And he has 23,100,000, just 12 bigs. Wow, I can't believe this. Savard again with ace-3 suited. He's had ace-3 of diamonds and ace-3 of hearts twice. Poker roll. You should learn French because a lot of people here speak French. Well, that's very true, actually.
It's very true.
Parlez-vous français?
Je parle un peu le français.
Un petit peu, pour moi.
Yeah, un peu.
McFarlane, last time we saw him play was 9 deuce, and previous to that was jacks. Folded round 2, Engel, the mighty 6-3. He's putting in a well-timed 3-bet here, out of position from the small blind. Puts pressure on the short stack of Lefloc. Has to find a real hand to raise back.
He just has one of the great imaginations in poker, Ari Engel. And Neil Farrell does as well. Whoop.
That's a previous hand.
Engel 3-betting here.
Or
we're just catching up on the graphics here. Stay with us. So Engel 3-betting with 2 jacks. tournament for those asking. But as you all know, I'm a very big fan of hers. She actually could have won the tournament that I won here in Montreal back in November, and then she won the following event here at the Playground Poker Club. Terrific player. She had some chips in this tournament too, but has departed.
10 high board here. Engel fires out with his pocket jacks. You're talking about Emma?
Yeah.
She was so unlucky on the feature table here yesterday. Do you know? You
she
didn't
was.
see the hands? Oh, she was very
I didn't
unlucky.
see the hands. I don't know what happened. I'm just looking at the questions that people were writing in about here, and they were
Right.
writing about her, and I don't know how she got broke.
Okay, well, while we're waiting for Shamus to fold, I'll tell you.
I'm not sure he's going to fold.
She had nines against King Queen, I think it was. Flop came King Jack 4, so obviously went behind. Come a 9 on the turn. She went in front. Come a 10 on the river. So she lost that one. Then she had aces against 5s, and it ran out 6, 7, 8, 9. She lost that one, and that was runner.
Oh my gosh.
Turn and river.
Yeah.
Finally, she went out with, I think she had King Jack against King Queen. King Jack of clubs against King Queen. Couldn't improve.
Well, I can tell you she can play. And I mean really play. Shamus with a tough decision here as to what to do.
Certainly doesn't want to be
You
pushed
hope-
off the pot, does he, by Engel? He knows he's capable of making this play with any 2 cards.
Yeah. He 3-bet before the flop. You open, he's got ace, king, ace, queen suited. You know he's going to make a continuation bet with this board especially.
He looks like he's making the call. This is inflating to a very big pot. 10, 5, 3. Shamus with 2 6s. Like to see a 6 on the turn. 4 or 7 or a diamond. Give him some other outs. Engel still in front with the overpair. Well, there's one of those cards that gives him a lot more outs. Only diamond now.
It's also
Only
a card
4.
that's going to scare Engel. Fearful his opponent might have made a flush.
Yeah, and he's checked quite quickly there.
And will Shamus bet thinking he might have the best hand here with the 2 6s and the drawing hand. Drawing at the flush and the diamond. Of course, even if you hit the diamond, you're frozen basically. It does go check, check. And the board pairs 7s.
So with no bet on the turn there, do you think Engel will put a value bet in there or just check it?
Well, if he does, I think he's going to get called.
No, he's checked. I
Yeah.
think quite a quick check back, I would imagine, from Shamus. And he's going to see that Engel has won this with jacks. And there you go, yeah. Quick check back. Well, he improved to an awful lot of outs on the turn, but didn't get there on the river. And Engel's stacking another big pot. Takes him up to 164 million now.
A little surprised R wouldn't have bet on the river there. It's a small value bet, but you'd hate to bet and get raised out of the pot. Everyone very serious here, Simon, as you can see, and they should be.
Well, they're
$1
down.
million to the winner of this tournament. Just a phenomenal prize pool.
Yeah, there's-
Amazing guarantee by Party Poker. Far surpassed the guarantee. The largest prize pool in the history of Canada. I mean, what a tournament.
And with 11 players left, that's 10th and 11th, I believe, are guaranteed $50,000, and then it steps up to $60,000 for 9th. Then it goes 80, 110, 150, etc., right up to 1 million. I agree with Shipranu. I think you mentioned it in commentary, Mike, that had Engel bet out there, he's in a world of pain, isn't he? If his opponent, Shamus, decides to then shove on him.
You're just not going to think he might check an overpair in the turn there. I think you're going to pay him off. But we'll never know. We do know Engel took down the pot.
Savard defends his big blind. Queen 4 of clubs, been the most active player on the table for the last half hour.
Hello to all of you saying hi to us here in the booth. Like you, we're envious of those sitting here playing for the million.
You've won $1 million before, haven't you? I remember. $1 million.
Actually have.
In a tournament that you originally created way back.
Yeah.
Tournament of Champions.
2006 WSOP Tournament of Champions. I won that for $1 million. And I cashed for more than $1 million in another tournament, but it cost $1 million to get in. So
all right.
I didn't really clear the $1 million there, but was happy
Actually,
to cash.
I remember you tell a great story about that tournament, don't you? About how Sam Trickett became your hero because he made an amazing call, didn't he?
He sure did. We were down to 10 players. 9 players got paid. 10th place got 0. 9th got like 1.2 million. And I was one of the 3 short stacks, of course. But I was mentally focused that I don't care if it takes 3 hours, I'm going to get in the money. The very first hand, 10-handed, Sam Trickett raises under the gun. It was 150 and 300,000 blind. He bet 800,000. Folded all the way around to me. I'm in a small blind. I folded. The big blind was a Russian guy. He moves in for $5 million in less than 3 seconds. Sam Trickett shrugged his shoulders, and he had about 20 million in chips. And he called 4.2 million more and turned up a King 8 offsuit. King 8 offsuit, and it was the best hand. The Russian had a Queen 10, unsuited. Sam made a pair of 8s on the very first deal. We were playing on the money bubble. Sam Trickett knocked out. I said, Sam, you're always going to be a hero of mine. Always, from now till never, never land.
So back to the action here. Under the gun, Shamus is raised to 4.5 million with ace queen. Engel has 3 bet by looks of it. Can't see his cards yet.
As you can see, he can 3-bet with any 2 cards for sure. He's like Neil Farrell, who's playing at the other table. Those guys put immense pressure on you consistently. They can have a hand or they can have a Garfunkel. They play the same a lot of times.
LeFloc just down to 4 big blinds now, Mike, with 8 million. So there's no change in money till 9th. Certainly not trying to ladder. This must be completely card dead. All the action happening before it gets to you. It's so frustrating when that happens, isn't it? You're dying. Yeah. You find a hand, you're thinking this is the hand, and then somebody 3 bets before it gets to you.
When you're short on chips, you're just hoping to pick up any ace, any kind of hand, any pair. So you can get your money in there, and you don't. You just keep folding, and your stack goes down.
So I think this hand is between Shamus and Engel, not LeFloc. Graphics was showing that LeFloc had ace 3 from before, wasn't it? Yeah, as you can see, the cards are in front of Ari Engel.
And this is a graphic error, folks, that you're looking at. We apologize for that.
We have been told that they changed the deck because one card was misreading that 10 before when there was a queen showing on the river, and it takes the system a couple of hands to sort itself out, apparently. So you have to wait. So forget everything you're seeing on the screen. We know that Engel's got ace 3 and Shamus has got ace queen.
Okay, there's the correct graphics there. And Engel's out flopped him, as you can see. He's flop bottom pair. Just don't know that Shamus is going to want to go any farther with this hand.
He's already played one big hand, hasn't he, against Engel? He did have a hand. He had jacks. Shamus had sixes.
Yeah.
And he does fold. Another pot goes to Ari Engel, and he's now the new chip leader on this table with 181.5 million.
And he is going to be a force to be reckoned with before this tournament is over, I can assure you.
It's a very impressive 3 bets. Picking his opponents, picking regardless of his position on the table. Saw him raise out of the small blind into Savard's opener. Made his bet look a lot stronger with the short stack behind him because he'd like to have something. It's a perfect opportunity for LeFloc to try and maximise his chips. Haven't seen anything from De Veglia yet in seat 2 apart from his arms.
Well, that'll get your attention, I'll tell you that, looking at those. And his head gets your attention too. It's shiny as well, so. But we haven't heard one word from any player yet since I've gotten in the booth here. I've just come in as a quick guest, but everybody is in game face mode. That's for sure.
Definitely can't blame them, can you? It's $1 million for the winner. Saul the Sauce says Philippe Dautet is 4th in chips.
Engel raising it up here with the 7-4. And Shamus again.
How's he going to play this one?
A tough hand. He had ace-queen the last hand. He got out-flopped. A little bit outplayed as well. Let's see what he's going to do now.
Well, he has loads of opportunities here, and his option here is he's taken is to flat call. He could lead out on the flop, or he could check raise.
Now, if he doesn't hit an ace or a jack, he's going to be gone. It doesn't matter what comes up on the flop.
There's an action flop. Engel pair with a flush draw. Shamas has
nothing.
2 overcards, or 1 overcard. I think he'll call 1 bet though.
No.
You don't think so?
No. It's going to be bet fold.
11.2 million.
I believe you're going to see bet fold here. I mean, if you're not going to re-raise with ace-jack before the flop, why would you continue it here with this flop? You have no backdoor flush draw, 1 overcard. But you're right. He is going to make the call, which shocks me.
He's going to rep the hand that Engel's got. And his time is a little bit off here. Probably would have been better to play aggressively pre-flop.
And if he does play it aggressive on this street and the next, perhaps he could win the pot. Now the question is, what do you do if you're Engel here? Do you bet the pair in the flush draw, or you take the card off? Fearful he might have something like 2 9s. It does go check, check.
His plan is
Ari
to
gives him a free shot to win it.
Yeah, his plan there is check it, and knowing his opponent may have to bluff the river, and he'll just snap call. So, Shamas, is he going to now try and take the initiative? 20 million in the middle. You have to bet about 8 to 10 million.
I don't see any snap call if you bet 8 or 10 million here with just 2 7s.
Well, from what I've seen from Engel's style of play and his ability to read, it would not surprise me at all. That it's exactly why he's checked the turn. Just flatted pre, out of position, check called on the flop, hasn't fired out on the turn, has to bet the river if he's missed.
Well, if he puts him on a flush draw or a straight draw, he's got showdown value with the ace-jack. Well, when he checks, he waves the white flag. He cannot win the pot, whether Engel bets or not. So So he's just surrendered here. I don't see any chance England's going to bet 2 sevens here.
No, it's only getting caught by a hand that beats him, so.
You're only getting called if you're beat.
No value bet here, is there? Because Shamas would have led out if he had anything at all.
Unless he puts him on a pair of 9s, in which case he thinks he has to bet to get him off of them.
Checks it back, it's
Check,
going to win it.
2 sevens are going to win, and
See,
Ari going to be very happy to see that.
how he doesn't show his hand until his opponent's shown his hand. So many players turn their hand over, don't they, when they have a hand, and then they don't get to see their opponent's hand. So Ari waits, wants to see what he called him with pre and on the flop. Very impressed with his play. And he is now just short of 200 million. He's on 192.5 million. LeFloc on 21.5 million, 10 bigs.
It's like to have 200 million in chips, and you still got to beat 10 players to win the tournament. No. Everybody started with $1 million in this tournament in chips. This is the Party Poker Million North America. And in all the Party Poker Million events, they're going to start players with 1 million in chips. And those that qualify online can actually bring more to the table than that. I was at a table where a guy started with 3 million who'd qualified online for like $11. So it's just fantastic that all players have an opportunity to play in these kind of tournaments for literally life-changing money for most people. And you can do so by winning different phases, whether it be online at Party Poker, at a casino partner. Here, the host venue, Playground Poker Club, held numerous satellites for players to get in as well. And that's why the field was so large. That's why Party Poker puts up such large guarantees, because the players show up in droves.
Yeah, and if you want to play one of these, we have 2 more this year already planned in. We have one in Sochi in September in Russia, and we have one in Punta Cana. The Caribbean Poker Party is going to be running again in Dominican Republic. This time it's going to be at Melia Resort, 18th to 25th of November. There are packages available every Sunday to be won on Party Poker. Currently 5 packages a week. We'll be going up to 10 packages a week, I believe. Package includes a $5,300 buy-in, all inclusive for $2,000 and $2,000 expenses.
And folks, in both of those events, it's a $5 million guaranteed prize pool with $1 million going to the winner. That is incredible, because certainly in Punta Cana, every player that plays the tournament is going to have to travel in to play it. You're not going to get any walk-ins from the street there. So who knows if there's no relay there or not, might be, but to be able to play a poker tournament that large, combined with a beautiful vacation resort spot, you just can't beat it. And in Russia, they tell me there's so many players over there now. That's going to be an enormous tournament as well, but those interested in going there should put in for a visa right away. It'll be worth your while. And for those worrying about carrying money over there, you can deposit money on Party Poker. You can deposit in Dust Till Dawn. You don't have to carry cash to Russia to play in these events. Just put it up front with Party Poker or Dust Till Dawn.
Farnham with a gut shot here. Can win with a 6, 7 or 9. Angle raised under the gun. King Jack of Hearts has took over as the most aggressive player on the table from Savard. First and second chip leaders on this table.
$4.5 million is the bet. And you have a gut shot straight draw and a backdoor flush draw. Do you really want to put your money in with this hand? He's done it. He's making the call here. So Ari's not going to like that. And he's hit a 7 to make the best hand with 2 sevens. Ari, of course, with the flush draw now.
2 overs and a flush draw, so McFarlane electing not to bet.
I don't see Ari betting here either, fearful his opponent might have made it straight, where you're going to get check raised out of the pot where you can't draw with this flush. Check. And it does go check, check. See if he can hit a hard. He hits a king.
Hit a king.
He hits the best hand on the river.
Now obviously when McFarlane checks here, he's going to know he hasn't got a straight, but McFarlane's going to take a stab at it. So now he has to decide, did he turn a straight or is my king good?
I'm surprised he bet here. Is he betting for value? Does he think his opponent's gotten overpaired? Does he think he hit the king on the river? Very surprised he bet on the river here. Most people would have been happy the guy checked on the turn and be happy if they checked on the river. And just gone check, check. But McFarland's betting now. Ari's in a tough spot. As you said, he's one of the best in the business at reading opponents. Takes a glance over at him. And he's smiling. This could be the bet of the night by this guy. Ari throws his hand away.
So many two pairs that McFarland could have picked up here from the big blind. Doesn't have to have a straight. Would have checked the turn in either situation, two pair or a straight. And therefore would bet out in the end.
Yeah, Ari's picking up calling chips. Can he put him in there?
He's got
smiling.
183 million. It's 5% of his stack to make this call. It's almost like it's going to be a reluctant call, and then very happy to see that he's actually won it.
Ari knows he bet the flop, and the guy called him on the flop. Now, what can he call the flop with when it comes 4, 5, 8, where the 7 wouldn't help him?
And he makes the call.
He does make the call, and he's going to win the pot. That's a tough call to make in that spot. And what a bet. It was almost a bet of the night. And McFarland got away with it, but I'm very surprised that he just didn't check on the river after checking on the turn. But Engel picking up yet another pot to extend his chip lead.
So McFarland down to 58 million now, 29 bigs. De Veglia 32 million, 16 bigs. LeFloc is our short stack with 21 million.
And LeFloc down to about 10 big blinds, so not going to play that hand, though. As you said, it gets so frustrating. Well, here's the guy who said he hadn't played a pot, Simon. He's going to play this one. He'd like to play for all his chips.
Savard.
Oh, no, this is Savard.
Savard with
I thought it was a guy in
pocket rockets.
seat 2 that had the 2 aces. But it's Savard that has him.
Well, De Veglia hasn't folded yet.
He's going to 3-bet here. Oh, boy. I hadn't played a pot yet at this table, and now he's running into 2 aces.
Looks like he's just flat called. I'd like to see what he's flat called with so quick. Ace 8 of spades. Shamus folds his queen. Ah, now look at this. McFarland with king queen, having just tried to steal a pot on the river. And he has made a move here, and his timing is wrong. And we know it's all because Engel called on that last hand. So he's shoved for 57 million. And what a coup
now look
for
at
Savard
this.
here.
Look what Savard's doing, though. He's acting like he's torn as to what to do, and he looks over at the player on his left like he's worried about that hand over there. What he really wants is that guy to call him when he makes this call.
Well, so there's no need for him to raise here. De Veglia's only got 27 million behind. He can just flat call. Hoping De Veglia has got a hand and he's going to try and triple up. And a very quick fold from De Veglia. Would you have just flat called there? No, your opponent's got less than half the raise.
Yeah. Just because of his chip stack. Now, if he had a large chip stack, I can understand the raise in that spot. Well, McFarland almost got away with his bet on the river a minute ago. Now he tried to squeeze here with king, queen of clubs, and If he doesn't get real lucky, he's going to be out. Needs to hit 2 runners now to stay alive. Club, 2 straight cards, or 2 combinations of a king and a queen.
Needs a 10, and only a 10, or we're going to lose Mr. McFarlane.
Yeah, at least he's drawing live. Well, 4 comes off. So McFarlane exiting in her 11th or 12th place. We're not sure which, but great tournament by him this week. Good result. Nice little payday.
Yeah, if there's 12 left, it's 45,000. If there's 11, it's 50,000. Either way, I'm sure he's delighted with his run this week. Tanya says it was 12th. I mean, there is no doubt, Mike, that McFarlane made that squeeze because it was the hand following the previous hand where he'd led out, he'd checked the turn, led out on the river, and Engel made the call. Savard now up to 200. Just under 230 million. Engel on 210. Between them, they have nearly half the chips in play, or well, 45% of the chips in play. I think there's 1.2 billion. They
Not many feelings better in poker than you raise with 2 aces and a guy moves in on you before the flop. I mean, it's just the words you're looking to hear.
Yeah, Ryan, 514 was a tilt squeeze, especially when De Viglia is called so quick. And De Viglia now getting jiggy with a queen 10.
Yeah, we saw him play the ace 8 a minute ago. For 1 bet anyway.
Trump loves the Mexican. No, my point is De Viglia is supposed to have a lot better than ace 8 suited there.
Well, LeFloc is going to have to make a move. Now, we haven't seen him pick up 1 card yet at this final table that we're watching here. It's not the final table, but there's 2 tables left in this tournament. But you can rest assured if he picks up any ace, possibly any king, if he's the first one to come in the pot, it'll be all going in. So far, somebody's bet in front of him every time, and he's never had a hand, so he can't play. And that's going to be the case again as Engel raises on the button with ace high. And Engel's going to pick up this pot, most likely.
8.5 million in the pot. 2.5 million to calls, getting over 3 to 1. 2 live cards would be 2.75. He makes the call.
There you go. Chip leader making the call. These are the 2 chip leaders going at it here. Usually you like to avoid the other chip leader at the table, but these 2 seem to enjoy the clash.
I go check, check, or it could go check, bet, call, lead out on the turn.
No. Engel's probably going to make a continuation bet here, but if you get check raised, his hand will most likely go in the muck.
Savard's more likely to call here and lead the turn, from what I saw yesterday. He'll either fold or call and lead the turn.
I see him folding.
Certainly looks like it now. A wry smile there.
We're playing down to the final 8 players tonight. The final 8 players will come back tomorrow for the final table. What time does that start for our
12 o'clock.
noon?
12:30 for this stream.
Eastern Standard Time. Shootout at high noon for the Millie. Live stream will start at 12:30. Is that correct?
Absolutely. And Engel just saying what I was going to let you know. We are down to 11 players. We've decided it's unfair to keep these players playing short-handed on the feature table, so we're going to switch the tables. These guys have already been playing for over an hour, and we've very quickly got down to just 11 players.
You know,
I thought you were saying.
I don't know.
So rather than wait for the break,
I'm asking, and he says
we're going to switch the tables. See how long it takes us to get down to the final 8, Mike.
75 minutes of halftime. That's
So we're going to finish this level, and then we're going to pause, and we're going to switch tables, which I think is a lot fairer. Shamus raising to 4.5 million. Feels a bit left out since Engel took over.
Yeah, we're going to switch
LeFloc,
tables.
not a hand that he wants to shove with. Savard in the small blind will also fold, and a quick fold from De Veglia. John Duthie would be enjoying watching this. There's been hardly any dwelling up at all.
Perfect. What's that?
Yeah, there hasn't been any real delays in play. Nice to see the speed of play at a nice tempo, where you're not making those ridiculous stare downs, knowing you're going to fold delays that we see so many times in poker.
So if you're looking at the size of these stacks, obviously the best spot for LeFloc would have been shoving into De Veglia with his 29 million.
And I played for 2 days in this tournament, and honestly, there really wasn't a delay at my table that was obnoxiously long for no reason. So I can say the speed of play, at least at the tables I was at, was very satisfactory in this tournament.
4,500,000.
Maybe I should have taken a little more time. No.
Engel, Jack 9 suited. Nice hand, 5-handed under the gun. LeFloc folded his 5-3. Savard with Queen Jack has the option to 3-bet here on the button. Looking at the stack sizes behind him, De Veglia, if he does flat, he's thinking De Veglia might shove with his 27 million. Savard decides to fold. Veglia has Queen 4 of hearts. Shamus will also fold his 10-4. So these blinds and antes, 1 million, 2 million with a 200,000 ante means there's 4 million in the pot, 5-way. And at the moment, Ari Engel is just scooping them up.
Well, LeFloc, just like it or not, no matter what kind of hand he picks up pretty soon, he's got to get it in there. I just can't see him delaying much longer. If you've got any vision
My favourite play
to win that million.
Yeah, when I'm short stacked like LeFloc, my favourite play is to pretend to look under the gun and then shove. Don't even look at your cards.
That's your favorite play if you got a lot of chips too.
8.5 bigs.
Doesn't matter.
And here he is under the gun. Will he do it? No. I would have definitely done it with 9-6 of clubs. In fact, but I wouldn't have looked. Let's see if he would have won, if we actually get to see the flop. If he had shoved with his 9-6 of clubs. Savard cut off with ace-queen.
Yeah. Nice hand in a 6-handed poker game. That's for sure.
De Veglia is making his decisions pretty quick today, but he currently is considering 3-betting with his ace-8. We saw him flat with ace-8 of spades when Savard had aces.
And get rid of him pre-flopped when it was all in and called in front of him. All in and re-all in, I should say, yeah.
And makes the correct fold.
Yeah, I just don't want to see him getting involved with that hand in that spot. Now, this guy may defend here out of the blind with Queen Jack of clubs.
Tanya's just put up who the players are on the outer table. Philippe Dautel, Jonathan Bouzière, Matthew Waxman, Louis Bouton, Patrick Bly. Where's Niall then? 1, 3, 4, 4. So Niall must be there as well. Shamas does indeed make the call with his Queen Jack of clubs. So 6-9 of clubs was folded, an ace-8 folded on the button.
I don't see Neil Farrell's name on there.
King 4-2. 6-9 wouldn't have been any good in this spot.
It's the perfect kind of flop to check raise on right here. King and 2 babies. If your opponent bets and you check raise even though you have nothing, you win a lot of pots. Savard preventing's getting check raised there. Now king comes off. We'll get at least one check here, but maybe not. Shamus might put him on a weak ace. May try to get him off of it by betting.
Tanya, can be a bit more exact, please.
He's going to put Savard to the test here.
Well, this is new. A line down the middle, showing the 2 players. Well, Savard does not believe that he has a king here.
Yep, nice call.
He's going to watch him for a reaction on the river, which brings 7 of diamonds. Be a brave man to bet again here.
Yeah.
Savard is not folding.
He could well fold to another bet. But it's hard to fire another shell in this spot.
King Libratus. It is Simon Trumper, sitting next to the legend that is Mike Sexton. Good friend of mine over many, many years.
Yep, we go way back.
I played in Mike's original Tournament Champions, the 3 events that were held at the Orleans.
It was a great tournament. Multiple games against all champions.
It looks like Shamas is thinking of firing again.
I think he's put his opponent on ace high, that's for sure. The question is, can you bet enough to get him off of it? You saw him call you on the turn.
King Libratus. I haven't seen any allegations like that. Sean and I get on fine. I met him in Berlin at the WSOP after the World Series. And look at this play by Shamas. He has bet 20 million into 25 million. Wouldn't it be? It would be the call of this table, if not one of the calls of the tournament.
Well,
if
he's definitely
Savard
put him
can
in the
read
test.
this.
No question about it. He has absolutely put the guy on ace high. He is betting this 20 million to try to get him off of the ace high. Let's see if he can do it.
Let's look at the stack sizes. Savard has 212 million. It's 10% of his stack to call for a 45 million pot.
And look at the percentage it was of the guy that bet stack. He's showing a lot of heart here. Shamus, that's for sure.
Well, no insta fold from Savard. Thought process going through his head. So he would probably likely check a king on the flop. Could lead on the turn, but he didn't believe he had a king. He thought he was probably betting with a flush draw. Made the call with his ace high. Does he really think the 7 of diamonds has made any difference? And if so,
would he bet?
Would he bet? And if he bet, how much would he bet to make me lay down the hand he thinks I have? And therefore, have I got the heart to make the call for 20 minutes? One of those stacks, Mike.
Well, Savard knows he doesn't have a big pair. Knows he doesn't have ace king. Or he'd get 3-bet before the flop. That didn't happen.
Well, he laid it down.
There it is.
And Shamas shows the bluff.
Well, he shows the queen jack. It's like he's just saying to him, I know you had ace high. I thought you'd get rid of it if I bet. And that's exactly the case scenario. Wow. That's playing the game pretty good right there. When you put your opponent exactly on the hand he had, knowing a big bet might get him off of it. That's what Shamas did there, and well done, my man.
Okay, we're going to have a few minutes break here while they switch tables.
Simon, I've enjoyed being with you here, and I'll come back and visit later, and I'll stop by tomorrow for sure during the final table.
That'd be fantastic. Thanks, Mike. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, guys, we're going to be on a short break. We're going to resume in just over 12 minutes. Go and grab yourself a cup of tea, and I'll see you back here at the feature table.